about family being involved and having that
Trust each other.
My interpretation of that is something to do with congruence. That's something we've talked about for years, is that when you talk to somebody on the phone, when you meet somebody, when the estimator comes, and when you are connecting with our business website, does all of that stuff congruently flow together? I guess the other part of that is that hiring people that you know and that have a desire to be involved is kind of the other part of that. And a lot of this has just been a surprise that these people want to be involved.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a family culture that we all grew up with. We have a lot of the same work styles and ethics, and so it kind of flows in ways that, if you're working with an employee that you only met a couple of years ago, wouldn't be nearly as it wouldn't flow as smoothly, I guess, because there's not all that background of knowledge of you give this to Sophie stays with it, it's done, don't have to worry about it again. Maggie is the sweetest customer service person, and so it's put her on the phone and everybody loves her. So I don't know, it's kind of knowing everybody that you're working with on that level is not something that everybody gets to experience.
Strength and
because
weakness.
not everybody works with their family.
Yeah.
So then hiring people that you know is one of the things that showed up. And then what happened was that, well, if you're hiring people that you know or that you have a relationship with, well then who are the people that you know the best are family. How can they be involved and how can they participate, and do they want to participate, and when are they leaving?
Oh, it's great to carry on his his goals and his dreams, which is awesome, and we all care about it, so it makes you want to work even harder to keep up with that.
It's a motivating factor having come into this, already seeing him build the business for 20 plus years before we even arrived. And then being able to be a part of it and add to it and hopefully expand it is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's something to get involved after the brand has 40 years behind it already. And knowing all the momentum that was created before we even came on the scene. And just being able to realize, wow, if you were just starting up right now, this would be pretty difficult. But people already know us. They already know, how we work and what we do and how we stand by the work. And that is, a lot of the hard stuff was gotten out of the way before we even came on board.
When we were 6 months old,
he
was doing the heavy lifting.
That's right. Exactly.
Now we just get to breeze in and be like, oh,
That's
take care of it.
We are so good at
this. Man, make it look easier.
We are so good at it.
This is wonderful.
Well, one of the things they experienced when they were young is that they have to stop and see a customer. They might be in the car, or they might come in with me, or they might spend the day with me, and that, I guess, produces results later on, because they kind of know, oh, well, Dad's got a customer.
Yeah.
Or you don't know the effects of the small things that show up later in life that become big things.
You always put a great deal of emphasis on treating people well and holding up to your standards, and your rules for life were pretty specific. So just being around that and seeing you interact with customers, I think just came a natural way that it passed down to us without even really noticing it. We just entered the workforce being able to correspond with people and talk to people because you'd already created that background.
Well, we came a long ways from the time when somebody would pull into the driveway because the shop was at the house, and they'd say, "Who is that?"
On and hot.
And so then I would go out and talk to them. And we had the shop at the house. But it's true that they got to learn how to do some phone stuff, and and working with the customer in every different way. From the problems to the best ones. It's remarkable that survived.
Yeah, I think even some of the technical details are just in the blood in a lot of ways, because I hear. 6 months after Sophie started, I hear her conversations on the phone, and she can describe the technical process better than employees we've had for 15 years.
I don't know if I got that, Gina.
I don't know how that passed along, because I don't know if she's been back there sanding or not. But it just kind of happened. And then Maggie too now. It's just like in the blood or picked up subconsciously throughout the years. I don't know how it happens.
Heard Dad talk about barley twist every day for 10 years.
That's right.
While
That's
you're in the womb.
That's one of the things we've always done is when I'm watching the show, I see the furniture in the back.
Yeah.
Like, look at that china cabinet.
And we all do it. We all do it.
Yeah, well, it's annoying until you start working here.
It's like,
Your kids are like, oh, will you please just stop?
you're like, who was the actor in that movie?
Yeah,
I don't know, but did you see that
the
table?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was Brad Pitt. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you go.
That
nice
Chippendale piece.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Yeah.
Between that and organizing 10 people to take care of our house and yard and business and everything that was really in one place for, 20 years or more, 30 years. We kind of created a inner working relationship with each other.
It was all practice.
Exactly.
Look back at it now. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, when I show up in the morning, they often talk about, well, I hate my job. I don't want to get up and go to work. Well, I have never had that. And so now it is the triple bonus where you are coming to the shop and I get to see everybody. So then Judy says, well, you dirty rat, you get to see them every day. And so that's how I feel, is that it's the most awesome thing. I feel sad for the folks who are regretting going to work every day because I just love to come and to see what's happening with everybody and the joy of experiencing children. It is awesome. We had one older son that retired when he was 18. He said, I'm retired now. And I thought, oh boy, what's it going to be like, when he moves on to do other stuff? But that's part of the process, is the entering and then being able to find the niche and then move on to do what they want to do. I can't experience anything better than having them here. To work together is phenomenal.